All right, we are now live on YouTube. All right, you guys, so today's live training is going to be all about something that William and I are super excited to announce. We feel this is going to be the absolute next Zillow killer when it comes to ads and leads that you can generate as a real estate agent. And the best part about it is that you can actually dispute a lead if it's not somebody that you are going to end up working with that was reaching out for a particular niche. So if you don't work with renters and you have a renter reach out to you, you can get a brand new lead through local service ads through Google. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you guys exactly how you would display and how you would show up with one of these ads. And then we'll kind of deep dive into how they work and go through some of the Q&A from Google for these. And it's going to be a somewhat short training, you guys, but there's a couple of things that I really want to make sure that we cover in this with you. So the first thing we're going to take a look at, we're looking at real estate agents in Seattle, Washington, right here. So if you plug in that search, type in real estate agent, your local marketplace, you're going to start to gather an idea of who in your local area is currently running local service ads with Google and who the top dogs are in that marketplace. Now, first and foremost, you can see that we display 3 agents right here. Now, if you click this more real estate agents, it's actually going to open up a list of all the agents in the marketplace that are running these ads. You can see we've got a lot of agents in the Seattle marketplace that are running ads on Google that have that green check mark and that Google screened. So, William, you want to step in for a second and let everyone know what that Google screened actually means and what that green check mark means for them.
Absolutely. So guys, what it means basically is you have to go through a full approval process. And sorry that you can't see me, by the way, basically my entire computer's destroyed. So with the approval process, you have to go through a number of different things. Number one, you have to get screened by Google and you have to do a background check. You have to upload a headshot. You've got to give your insurance, and you have to qualify for up to $250,000 in insurance. And there's a couple other steps that you got to jump through, but that's mainly the basics. Is you have to be able to give your insurance, your license number and information, and background check. Those are the 3 main ones.
Absolutely. So you see a full background check?
Yeah, they have to do a full background check.
That's fantastic. I mean, they want to make sure that they're putting somebody that's trustworthy and noteworthy in front of the consumer that's going to be searching online. Now, you guys, where I feel this is going to be the most powerful, right? And this kind of boils down to this being the Zillow killer ad, right? If we go and type in Seattle, Washington here and go and search Zillow, and we look in Seattle, let's say we're looking for properties that are for sale, and I just go and click on one of these listings, and let's say I'm reading through it, I'm trying to find info. You know, back in the day, you used to have 3 real estate agent profiles that would populate here and give you as a consumer the opportunity to go through and click on one of those agents. You guys, I am clicking right now to try to get in communication with one of these personal guides that's an agent. And I can see this guy right here, this handsome fellow. This looks just like my buddy, Sean McConnell, that I used to work with at Zillow. And you know what? I saw him right here in the local service ads. So as we scroll down this list, we can keep on scrolling. We're going to find him somewhere probably about 3/4 of the way down is where I saw him last time. We're going down this list. But we can see once we get there, Sean McConnell is going to be on here because hey, that's my buddy. I used to work with him at Zillow. He recently left, actually left 2018, about the same time I did. But instead of going into running a marketing agency, he got into real estate. And he's actually one of the top performing teams within his brokerage in that market. And they're absolutely crushing. So we can see we've got Sean McConnell here, 7 5-star reviews. If we jump back over to Zillow, we've got a photo of him right here in the center. I'm pretty sure that's him. At least it's very small. I can't see it. As much as I blow this screen up, that really looks like him, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive. So the big thing is you're going to have folks that are on Zillow actively searching for homes. And you guys, these people, these consumers, when they go on Zillow and they're looking for real estate, they search on average for 90 days prior to reaching out to an agent and making that decision of making a purchase on a home for who they actually want to speak with, work with, get in front of, get in contact with you, right? Right. So when you can't even select a particular agent from this list and choose who you want to reach out to, number one, that's a little discerning, because as a consumer, I love to be able to have the choice as to which person I want to do business with or who I want to reach out to. And in a lot of cases, consumers like to make choices based off of some kind of education. And so when's the last time you guys purchased something on Amazon when you didn't look at the reviews? I know it sounds crazy, right? But in most cases, you're not going to make a purchase for a product on Amazon without taking a look at the reviews and seeing what other consumers just like yourself thought of that particular product once they received it. The same goes for real estate agents. So when I'm searching Zillow, the number one thing I'm looking at is going to be properties. Now, I can't pick an individual agent from a listing anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back over to Google and I'm going to type in real estate agent, Seattle, Washington. And once I type this in, you have the ability to be displayed at the very top of the page on Google. Now, Every Door Real Estate, this is another team that I used to work with at Zillow. This is ran by Lindsay Gudger and Jason Gaspara, two awesome individuals, and they're definitely on the bandwagon. You can see they've got 828 Google reviews within the last 8 years of being in business, right? So an amazing number of reviews on Every Door Real Estate. That's going to help populate and bring them to the top of this list when somebody is searching on Google for an agent. But being able to be a Google screen with that check mark is going to be a little beacon of hope to a consumer that's reaching out and looking for an agent that they want to work with. Now, when you look at all of the agents that are in this marketplace, one thing I want to kind of highlight to you guys is that I'm going to start refreshing this page. And I want to see if any of these people continuously pop up time and time again. And so if you guys start seeing the same kind of people, let me know. And I haven't done this in Seattle yet. So this is kind of my first go here in Seattle. But I think I've seen Redfin twice now. There's Redfin again. Redfin again. Redfin again. Every Door again. Every Door, Redfin. P&W team, that's the second time they've shown up, right? Redfin, P&W team. So the big thing with this is if you guys were to go on Zillow a couple of years ago and you were to refresh a listing on Zillow time and time again, that list of agents is going to continue to cycle. And the only agents that you're going to see time and time again are going to be the agents that bought into that marketplace where they can be seen 100% of the time. And it was originally based off of impressions, right? So when I first started, this may not have been originally, but when I started back in early 2015, everything with Zillow was based upon impressions. So if we were looking at a particular zip code, there's 3 spaces for an advertiser, just like this. 3 spaces on Google. On desktop, there's only 2 on mobile, but 3 spaces on desktop. And essentially what that would mean is, let's just say there were 10,000 total views in a marketplace that we had every month that we could guarantee. We would sell 10,000 impressions 3 times because there was 3 separate spaces. So if you as an agent bought in 10,000 impressions in that local marketplace, that means you're going to be displayed every single time somebody looks at a listing. Now we can see, if we continue to refresh this, it looks like Redfin is going to continue to show up time and time again. So what that means to me is that Redfin is actually purchased in on the cap as the highest dollar amount of lead that you can buy in that market. And they are saying we are willing to pay the most amount of money for that lead. Now they have a particular budget that they set in place. And once they have the number of leads that meets their budget, they're no longer going to be put into the rotation unless they increase their budget or they go ahead and dispute some of those leads that they had gotten if they were negative. So you guys taking a look at how this rotation works, and when somebody can go ahead and search on Google in that local marketplace for a real estate agent, can you guys see how powerful this could be in the event that you were to collect a buyer or have a buyer reach directly out to you from local service ads. We've only
yeah.
got a couple of folks on, so I don't know if anybody's going to jump off mute and say anything, but that's okay.
Deborah's driving. I know that
Sonia's
much.
on her phone. I think she may be driving as well. And I know Sue was doing some stuff in the background, so I'm not going to bug her. But you guys can definitely see it. Now, there's two different ways that you can get communication from this lead. Number one, you can accept a direct call from someone that's on local service ads. Somebody that goes on Google and searches for a real estate agent in that local marketplace. You can receive that lead via direct call. If you would like to, though, you can also set your profile up so that you can receive a message with an email address and some additional pertinent information about that lead. And that information for the cost of those leads when you're getting that message, actually, I believe it cuts it directly in half with local service ads with Google. So it gives you a really solid opportunity right there out of the gate, so that you can either capture leads that are calling you directly on the phone, or you can capture those leads that are sending a direct message off to you. Now, there's a couple of things that I really want to dive into that's extremely important here. And this is all about how this works, an example of valid leads that won't be credited, right? So remember, I want to show you guys how you can win these as many leads as humanly possible with this platform, but also showcase to you that you can actually dispute a negative lead if they aren't somebody that could potentially work with you or in any kind of niche. So I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to the source, and we're going to tell you how local service ads works from Google directly. So how leads work. Local service ads, you only pay for leads that related to your business or the services you offer. Here's how it works. Set an average weekly budget based on an average number of leads you want to receive in any given week. Note, you can spend more than your average weekly budget you can spend more than your average weekly budget in a given week on leads, but you'll never spend more than your monthly max. Your monthly max can be calculated by multiplying your number of weekly budget by the average number of weeks in a month. And so if you want to learn more about that, you can click on it. So you set your bidding mode for the max you're willing to pay for the lead. After setup, you can immediately dispute leads that you believe aren't valid. Successfully disputed leads will be credited back to you later. And this is in the US and Canada only. So that pertains to all of us that are going to be on here. So how you're going to be charged, you're charged for each valid lead you receive through your local services ad. Lead prices may vary depending on your location, the job type, the type of the lead, or your bidding mode, but each lead received will count towards your budget. Once you've reached your monthly max, your ad won't appear for the remainder of the month unless you adjust your budget. So if we reach that max, we just got to turn the budget up a little bit more and keep pushing, and we'll keep receiving those leads. You can view how much review how much you've been charged for your leads by going to billing in your inbox through your leads inbox. All right, and billing for local service ads is managed by Google's ads. Any suspension in your ads account will also suspend your local services ads. So this all works in unison with your regular Google ads that you guys are going to be running and showcasing. And we also may be able to get you guys a sneak peek today if we have enough time into the listings to leads launch for Google ads. William, can you look into that really quick and make sure we have access to it? I was playing with it yesterday with Kelly. Reach out to Vincent and see when we can get turned on for that for all of our users. That would be great.
Well, no, it's per account. It's not overall. It's per account.
Okay, well, let's put it in an email to them and see if we can get that turned on for our users as part of the beta. I don't know if they'll say yes, but I played with it with Kelly yesterday. We are actually running 2 or 3 different ads right now. And we've got 3 that are up and running that we're testing. And we'll be able to get back to you guys here in about a week to let you know how that's working and how those are performing. But again, we always like to test things before we push them out there. And William,
the pay-per-click
right now. Oh, what was that, William?
Oh, I was just saying the pay-per-click looks awesome so far, but we still got to test it. What were you going to say though?
Absolutely. And of course, going off of testing before we showcase something to you, how many clients do we currently have that are using this or have been using this? Local service ads explicitly.
Local service ads, we have 6.
And how many of those 6 have closed a transaction?
So 6 of them all have a deal in the pipeline that they're working.
Okay. Fantastic. I mean, that sounds great to me.
3 of them have multiple deals.
Awesome. Awesome. So you guys, a big thing that we're going to look at here is valid leads, right? So the ability to dispute charged leads is only available in the United States and Canada. Valid leads are related to your business or to your services you offer and can occur when customers find your local services ads on Google. Valid leads can be generated when you receive a text message or an email from a customer, you receive a voicemail from a customer, you answer a phone call and speak with the customer, you receive a missed call without a voicemail and you return that customer's message with a text message, email, or call where you either speak with the customer or leave a voicemail. You receive a booking request from that customer, right? So if we go ahead and take a look at disputing invalid leads belowhand, what this is going to mean is that the ability to dispute leads, charged leads, is only available in the United States and Canada and is up to Google's discretion. But they've got some specific criteria that we have to meet below. So if you receive an invalid charge, you have 30 days to dispute the charge in your account. Credits requests for invalid leads won't be considered after 30 days. So it's super important. Any kind of a lead that you feel you should dispute with this program, you dispute immediately. That way you can get another fresh lead and get things rocking and rolling as long as Google's discretion says, yes, you are entitled to a new lead. And again, we're going to get into that here in just a moment. And then the next thing that we're going to take a look at is that credit requests for invalid leads won't be considered after 30 days. All dispute decisions are final, and we can help you determine if a lead if a lead may be eligible for a credit. So this is going to break down determination even further, but we do actually have examples of leads that won't be credited below. So dispute categories. So if somebody reaches out to you via solicitation, this is a call from a wrong number. The caller was trying to sell you a product or a service. The call was from someone seeking employment at your business. If it was a spam call, which is going to be a pre-recorded call. If the call was otherwise not from a live human, the location was not served. So if the customer communicated their location, the location was not listed on your profile and you decline the job. So if somebody wants to buy a house that's 30 miles outside of your service area, you can definitely refer that lead off to another agent, still dispute it, get a brand new lead, and pick up your referral credit at the same time. The customer communicated their service type. The service wasn't listed on your profile and you declined the job. So let's say, for example, you had somebody reaching out to you and they said that they wanted to rent a home, but you only have buying and selling listed on your real estate profile. You only help people that want to sell their home, or you only help people that want to buy a home. That lead can automatically be recycled because they're looking to rent and it's not a specific service that you as the agent offer. If the caller was looking for a physical store or looking to buy something other than a service, for example, parts, right? So that's not something you typically see in real estate, but those are just a couple of the ways that examples that Google gives us so that you can go ahead and get your credit back for those leads. Now, examples of valid leads that won't be credited. Sometimes the way a customer contacts you or the way you've listed services on your profile can impact your leads. If you dispute a lead, it won't be credited if a lead was received outside of your business hours. So if you set business hours, say from 9 to 5, and that lead calls in at 6, you can dispute that lead and get a new lead because they called outside of your business hours that you listed. This is a mistake by Google. A customer asks for advice to complete a project related to a service you offer. So if somebody is a for sale by owner and they're simply seeking advice from an agent, you can get that lead refresh. If they go ahead and cancel a booking, so if they book an appointment directly with you on your local service ads, which we should be able to connect directly with Leads to ROI very, very soon. We're actually backend dev is working on that as we speak so that we can actually complete your guys' bookings through Leads to ROI. But if someone were to cancel that appointment, you can go ahead and get your money back for that lead and get a new lead. The customer was researching potential projects or prices related to a service you offer. So let's say somebody was reaching out and they said, hey, I wanted to see if you'd be willing to discount your listing price. Will you discount your listing commission for me? He said, well, no, I'm not the type of agent that actually discounts my commission. And you give them a solid rebuttal as to why they wouldn't want to work with a discount broker, and why you are going to be able to provide them the best level of service, marketing, branding, pricing for their home, you name it, and all of the years of experience that you bring to the table. They say, well, since you won't do it for 1%, I'm out. You can get your money back for that potential lead. So you don't have to worry about that lead not being paid or charged to you for that. All right. So if a customer didn't respond to your return call or message, that's going to be a reason for you to actually dispute that lead and get your money back. You list a general service type on your profile, but you don't do a specific type of service. So let's say that you have listings on there, but somebody's reaching out to you because they're about to go through a foreclosure and they want to do short sales, and that's not your specialty. You can still get that lead. You can get that lead reimbursed. So it gives a little example based off of water heaters, but for example, your profile lists that you service water heaters, but you don't service tankless water heaters, right? So that's one quick little example, and it kind of meets what I just broke down as well. You generally service an area or provide a service, but are temporarily unable or unwilling to provide these services, and they are still listed on your profile. And you are in a law vertical, have turned on general lawyer leads, and the lead for this type of law service, and the lead is for any type of law service. It will not be credited or disputed. So that looks like that one is specific to a particular law vertical itself, so we don't have to worry about that. The big thing is, you guys, if you get a lead that you're unable to work with for any of those reasons, you can dispute that lead and get a brand new lead at no additional cost out of pocket. So when we look at everything like, hey, the average consumer spends 90 days searching for properties on Zillow.com prior to reaching out to an agent. They no longer have a buyer's agent list here on Zillow.com that will allow them to click and view one of these agents and talk to those agents. Now, you can see right there, we had 3 different agents that were on this. When I click learn more, it does take me into a section for agents, but I can't click on any of these agents that are actually showcasing on this listing. And they showed me a new set of agents once I clicked on learn more. You can see it's a different set now as it was to opposed to then, right? So it makes it much more difficult for a consumer to find an agent on Zillow, which is going to drive those consumers back to Google to search for a real estate agent, where Google has essentially taken over that buyer's agent list or agent list that Zillow had as a product line, and can give you as an agent the ability to stand out head and shoulders above your competition. Now, there were a couple of factors that came to play when it comes to how often you can be displayed at the very top. It's not just going to be broken down on the amount of money that you spend every single month, but William, can you unmute for a moment?
Yes, shoot.
What were some of the additional factors that actually come into play for showing up at the very top of the list as a local service ad or a local Google screened professional in real estate?
Definitely. So great question. And this is a really important one, right? This is what we all wonder about. This is what determines whether we're picked over somebody else that has 400 reviews, right? And believe it or not, you can literally make it so that you are chosen over somebody else that has 455 star reviews, even when you only have 7. The difference is your bidding method, okay? And so inside of the local service ads account, there are 2 different options. Number one, you can go based off of Google's recommended bidding strategy. And basically what Google is going to do is it's going to take your weekly budget and it's going to average that out across the spend that you've got. So if you're doing $200 a week that could give you maybe 1 to 4 leads, and they're going to divide that out across, and it'll cost you $50 a lead, let's say. Now, let's say your market is extremely, let's say there's a lot of people competing in your market, right? One way for you to beat those people out is by changing your bidding strategy, not to their recommended, but you can actually set your own bidding strategy, and you can say, you know what? I don't even care. I'm going to pay $150 for each lead. And everybody else who has no idea what local service ads are or what they do has theirs set to the recommended bidding strategies. And you have now just beat out all of theirs, and you snag that lead. You snag that placement, I should say. You don't automatically snag the lead, but you're gonna take that placement on desktop where it shows 3 agents, or on mobile where it shows 2. And that is the most important thing. That's what we want every single time. So number 1, it's budgets, okay, and being able to change the strategies. Number 2, it's answering the dang phone, okay? That is the most important thing out of all of it, other than bidding. If you do not answer the phone and make sure that you talk to that lead when they call in, Google is automatically going to ding you, and they're automatically going to drop your placements. Okay, so those are the 2 top things. Also,
what is the third, William?
The third, let's see, answering the phone call, bidding, and locations.
And
you obviously know, so why don't you?
I'm highlighting it for you.
I don't have it open.
The reviews on your business, your Google My Business. So the number of reviews can also increase the rankings that you have when you're showcasing and showing up on these. Well, you hit the nail on the head on those, absolutely. So you guys, a big thing, and this really boils down to your responsiveness, right? So if you decide that you want to use local service ads, and you do not pick up your phone, you will be ranked lower. You'll be ranked lower. So Google is going to do this based off what is going to be best for the consumer. So there's a reason that they take all of these additional precautions to screen you, because they want to build and instill trust in the consumer that is searching for a professional that is in whatever niche that they're typing in on Google. So you can see here at the very top, what's in your profile is going to be the very first thing that's going to cover your actual ad ranking, right? So your verification status and whether or not you've obtained Google Badge of Trust, like Google Screened or Google Guaranteed. Your bidding strategy, which William covered as a secondary piece there, talking about how much you're actually spending and what you're bidding so that you can acquire those leads. Your business hours, he hit that as well. And the responsiveness. Responsiveness is extremely important. If you have a customer that inquires or puts in a request for you to reach back out to them, there's a missed call that's unanswered, or you didn't respond to them, that can negatively affect your responsiveness and can inadvertently bring you down the ranks as far as how often you are seen on Google. You may still be paying more than other agents in the marketplace for that lead, but because you didn't answer your phone every time somebody called you, and those happen to be Google leads reaching out, that's going to bring you down. Now, again, you guys, the reviews for your business are extremely important. And that's one of the things that I'd love for William to actually share his screen if you can. I don't know if you can at this point in time because your computer was down. Are you available to showcase the review tool just a little bit to show them how they can grow with that? Or do you need some time?
I mean,
I can keep going through this in our system. You can take it over. Yeah.
Are you? Yeah, I could do that.
Awesome. I'll keep going, and then we'll jump back to you here in just a second. So I'm just going to go ahead and read through the rest of these so that you guys can definitely understand these. And then we also have some ad ranking best practices down below that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of. That way we can give William a little bit of time to set up, because I know he was working on something else in the background. But reviews and reporting for your business, your review score and the number of reviews you receive are extremely important for your ranking and how often you can be seen at the top. Whether or not Google has received serious or repeated complaints about your business. So I don't really see anybody on here receiving any complaints about their business that's going to be sent to Google. But every once in a while, you do have a negative experience with a client. So it's one of those things that I always recommend to handle every single incoming call to your business with the utmost professionalism. There's a ton of social justice warriors out there that will literally just go and write you a negative review because you didn't want to do what they wanted you to do. So make sure that you handle each one of those interactions as cordially as humanly possible and with a level of professionalism that you would like to be pushed upon yourself so that you can try to avoid those situations. But of course, there are some folks out there that will definitely still have a negative impact on your business, whether you were cordial or not. Your proximity to potential customers as in locations. So you guys, when somebody searches for real estate in a particular market, Google isn't just going to take that particular market that they're searching for into account. They're going to take the geographical location of that individual into account as well. Now, this is really, really good for relocation specialists and things along those lines. But a big thing is it's going to be based off of their location and your location and the location that they're searching for. So if you don't have that particular marketplace in your area listed as your services, you won't have the ability to show up. And then you can see here that if your business has multiple locations that serve the same geographical area, local services will show only the highest ranking ad in response to the user's query. So let's say, for example, you have a major team and you have 100 agents on your team, and that team is actually split between 3 different offices in locations that are close by, but you're in 3 separate suburbs of a major city. You could then in turn have 3 separate locations for your local service ads, and each one of those locations could collect those leads respectively. So in addition to these ranking factors, Google will attempt to spread out the leads that you receive over time. Spreading out leads will prevent you from spending your entire budget early in the budget period. If your ad is generating leads more quickly than your budget can accommodate, you can see your ranking affected and your ad will be paused temporarily in order to more evenly spread out your leads. Now, ad ranking best practices. You want to make sure to encourage your past clients, your past customers to review your business. They recommend at least 5 or more reviews, and you can link your local service ads account to your existing business profile or use the vanity link in your account to collect customer reviews. You guys use leads to ROI. Go ahead and send out bulk requests. Do it 10 a day. You don't want to go overboard. You don't want it to be too fast. Google is going to freak out if you get 40 reviews in a month or a week. So make sure that you're doing it little by little. You want a slow trickle, but you can use that review request tool that William's going to explain to you here in just a moment to actually beef up your local business's profile, your local service ad on Google by adding more reviews to your Google My Business page, business page. You also want to make sure that you expand your job types and services in the area. So for example, if you only want to work with sellers, that's going to give you a little bit more limited reach. If you're working with buyers and sellers, that's going to give you some more potential. If you add in buyers, sellers, new construction, we're definitely starting to sweeten the pot and give ourselves the opportunity to work with more and more people. You also have foreclosure specialists in there and a handful of other things that you could add to this list that you could market. And then you guys, if you're not doing foreclosure specialists right now, I absolutely would, because I just saw some statistics the other day on homes that are on the brink of foreclosure that was absolutely staggering to me. Those were nationwide statistics, right? Maximize leads with bidding. So select maximize leads instead of max per lead bidding strategy to automatically optimize your budget. This one is actually very contradicting to what we have seen to increase your guys' success and some conversations that we have actually recently had with Google specialists on bidding on behalf of our clients when we are managing these, so that we can get you guys the best cost per contact and the highest number of leads that are flowing through. So I do want to let you guys know that I don't 100% agree with this. This is more for your normal market, or this is more for a major metro area. but we have definitely seen the exact opposite in running a max cost per lead and increasing the amount that we'd actually pay for those leads. Use high quality photos. So guys, extremely important. The photo that you showcase on Google, this photo right here, you want to make sure that that is a high quality photo. So we don't want to use anything that's pixelated. We want it to be crisp. We want it to be clear. And that's going to affect not only your ranking and your ability to show up on top, but it's going to affect how that consumer home shopper or home seller is going to then perceive you as an agent. Right? And then the last thing I would say, opt into new features, right? So opt into the message. Opt into message leads to connect with customers via text, 50% of the cost of the phone call. If you use an integrated CRM or partner, ding us, you can also tie that in so the consumers can book directly through your local service ad. And that's something that we have coming very, very soon for you guys. So William, I want to see if you were ready to rock and roll and showcase the review tool.
Yes, let's do it.
I will stop my screen share and I'll hand it over to you. And the show is yours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, most of you guys here know we have a review tool, but maybe some of those that are watching on our YouTube channel don't. In our system, we have the reputation management software in the left-hand menu. You've got the reputation tab. Now, every once in a while, we do see this glitch out and the connection can get lost, right? If you change passwords, sometimes the connection will break. So it's always good to go into your settings, go into integrations, and then we're gonna check and make sure that your Google My Business profile is connected. So as Bryan mentioned earlier, Google and the local service ads, as of July 31st, I believe it was July 31st, they changed the requirements for the local service ads. You have to have a minimum of 5 reviews in order for you to actually do the local service ads. And so that's one thing that's extremely important. We do have a couple clients right now actually that don't have enough reviews to get started, and that's what we're sitting and waiting for. And another thing that is also important is, you know, if you're like us, for example, we've sent out a ton of reviewer requests and Google actually hasn't approved them even. That can be a common issue, right? And so there's a lot of different factors that vary and determine whether Google is going to approve those reviews or not. And I actually found a link that will allow you to, it'll allow you to kind of start a review process with Google My Business, so that they'll actually go in and check out the reviews that people posted, and you can talk to them about getting those things approved. So Bryan, I sent that to you. If you could possibly go in and paste that in, that would be amazing. That is a great function that people can utilize to try and grow their reviews if they've already sent some out and they're not seeing them, okay? Now, make sure that under settings and integrations in Leads to ROI that you are connected in the system and that your specific page is selected, right? So if you have, like, maybe you set up a Google My Business profile originally, but you did it wrong, and so you created a second one, make sure that the correct one is selected. Another common issue that I see people do is that they connect their Google profile because that's what they want to use for their bookings, but they have their Google My Business profile created on a different account, right? So make sure that you've got the correct profile synced. And then after you've done that, you can go back into the reputation management tab. And what you always want to do before you send out a review is come into here and click generate link. Okay, that's going to automatically update your link if it's still synced to an old profile. So click that and then click save. And right there, that's your custom review link that's going to send people a review request. All right. So then inside the system in the settings and reputation management tab, you can actually set up a custom schedule for sending out reviews if you want. You can add in your headshot and or logo so that the people you're sending reviews out to actually know it's you, right? If they see your face and then they see the review, it's probably a lot higher of a chance that they're going to actually take the time to help you, right? Then they're staring at you in the face and they're saying, oh yeah, okay, I'll help her or him, right? So we also have automatically loaded in a personalized message here into the system. If for some reason you don't like that and you want to personalize it, you can go in and absolutely rewrite this. We have a great little, layout here, and you can see Tamiko added in hugs at the end, right? So go ahead and personalize anything that you want to make it sound a little more like you, and then make sure you click save at the end. You can also edit your color codes and things like that for the custom review widget that is located on your funnel. So for example, Sue, you have your booking landing page, and you can actually change your color scheme on the review widget in these settings, okay? And then when you're done, just copy the code right down here at the bottom and it'll automatically update for you. So that is the review settings. Now what you can do is there are two ways to send out reviews. Number one, you can click this lightning bolt and click send a review request. Then all you would do is just type in the customer's name and or phone number or email. If they're not in the system, you can just automatically type their information in here and click send, and it'll create a contact for them. Otherwise, you can select a client's name here in the system, and it'll automatically pull open their information, okay? The other option is by going into the contact and smart list section, and you can select, a couple people if you wanted, and then just select the star, which sends out a review request. And then you can choose whether you want to send it as a text, SMS, or an email request. So that is reputation management software, guys. And you can also do this from your mobile app.
Now, William, you'd asked me to send something out that you had sent to me, but I completely missed what you were asking for. So I want to make sure that I got that. Okay,
let me stop my screen share and I will find it and send it on over. So it is a link. It's a link from Google that basically is support.google.com/business/get-help. So I'm going to send this link address in the Zoom chat. Oh, that just gave me a whole bunch of other stuff added to it, of course.
Oh yeah, it's got all the question mark and all that extra.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I bookmarked both of those links, but they actually didn't, one of them didn't save the same way as when I originally bookmarked it, which I thought was kind of weird. I hadn't had that happen before.
There we go, guys. Okay, so it's in the chat. For anybody who's watching this on YouTube, it is support.google.com/business/get-help. And all you would need to do is log into your account that you have your Google My Business profile synced to, and you can actually start a support request with them to get your reviews fixed.
Oh, and I've got one last thing to share on this, you guys. So I had an agent the other day say, hey, Actually, I can do this through my home snap, and I'm going to run these type of ads through my home snap instead of doing it through, say, if we were to help manage or run this, or they were to do it on their own. One thing I do want to note is that for the examples of valid leads that won't be credited here, it's like this is the refundable leads that you can get a refund on. At the very bottom, it says, note, if you're advertising through a partner affiliate, the above information does not apply to you. So basically it's saying that you can't dispute the charge. That's how I'm reading that. If you work with one of the partner affiliate, and Home Snap is listed right here on that first page. So if you guys are looking to do this, I'd recommend either doing it on your own or reach out to us. We've got specialists that can help you guys be sure to get the best performance out of these. And you guys, the way that this works is really similar to Zillow. When I worked for Zillow with that buyer's agent list back in 2015. So we can definitely help get things set up and get them on the right track. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Do we have any last minute questions before we go ahead and shut down the live training? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys on next Wednesday. We are going to be breaking down even more Google advertising so that we can help you guys win more buyers, more sellers, ultimately close more business. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.